What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we've got 8 very specific clone fragrances. It's been a little bit since we've talked clones. We don't go a long stretch without doing it because I know you guys like to talk about them. We've got 8 particular ones that just bring all the freshness. Who doesn't like a good freshie? Now, some of these are absolute monster performers. Some of these are above average. Some of these are kind of, average at best. But the one thing they all have in common is affordability, and they smell fantastic because when in doubt, wearing something fresh just works. Everybody likes fresh, right? So let's talk about these 8. Stay tuned. Starting with my favorite of the bunch, my recent favorite. This is top 3 for favorite clones I've gotten this year. Easily, it's one of my newest as well. Moscow Mule from Paris Corner. Their interpretation of Kilian's Blue Moon Ginger Dash. I'm such a fan of this one. Such a fan of this one. Now, one that was a big favorite of mine prior was Vibrant Vetiver Delight. Now, this offers some similarity in the opening because that one's bergamot lemon. This is bergamot lemon. So I didn't want to feature both because if you have Vibrant Vetiver Delight, there is some redundancy to this. But the biggest differences here is the ginger, the greens, and the mint. So it's kind of a spicy green mint core. You've got, that, like I said, the ginger, the mint. I think it's green notes or something like that. Very fresh, green, citrusy, spicy, watery, and ozonic. Not quite, I wouldn't consider it aquatic because it's more of a juicy citrus type of thing. When I mention watery, it's damn good. Oh man, does this smell good. I have not tried the original, and the clone is so good that I really need to get a decant and try the original. The downside is I'm probably going to end up wanting a bottle because if I like the clone this much, and I mean enough to where it sparked a video idea, here we are. I definitely need to get my nose on the original. If you don't care about getting your nose on the original, just want a great fresh fragrance experience that's got a little bit of depth to it, just enough, you might want to look into this one because it is phenomenal. I do get around 6-ish hours in longevity. It's pretty good. It's Moscow Mule from Paris Corner. This next one, we're actually going to go ahead and give a couple sprays for the gym. What the hell? We'll do 3 sprays. It is Coastal Breeze from Luciano, and this is Pacific Chill. This is a very close representation of Pacific Chill. It's not spot on because it's not near the same quality as Louis Vuitton, but the profile is pretty locked down here. That bright citrus, citron, apricot, fruity, tropical bowl of fruits kind of thing going, some greens. It's watery, fresh, just so delightful. Such a great fragrance. Wafting it over this way, it really does smell good. Around 40 bucks, it's well worth the price. You're going to spend a fraction of what you'll spend on Pacific Chill. And yeah, it's pretty much that simple. Luciano's been putting out some really good clones. I haven't tried their newest clone line. I know it's a lot of like PDM clones and stuff like that. Haven't really been interested in those, but I pretty much have almost all of theirs from this line, and they've all been really good. The only one I don't have, I think, is the Ombre Nomade clone, which I have a really good Ombre Nomade clone, so I'm not interested. But as far as Pacific Chill, I mean, it's damn near spot on, just a quality drop-off, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter because it smells really freaking good. Again, around average performance. It's Luciano Coastal Breeze. I literally sprayed this out the shower a few nights ago. I love this one. Speaking of LV, this is Stag Quatre from Paris Corner. This is their version of Afternoon Swim. The Luciano version, Sunset Swim, is really good. I find this is a fresher fragrance overall. I actually did a versus between the two. I prefer this one. It's just so mega fresh. Super clean musk, bright, mouth-watering mandarin orange. Again, around average performance, but man, the smell, the scent experience of wearing this fragrance, love it. The color of the bottle is a great representation. It is super fresh orange. You can look at it as that simple. There's ginger, there's musk, and there's citrus, but it comes down to just crazy fresh, watery mandarin orange. Just literally mouth-watering type of stuff. You will go a little nose blind to it, but I have clocked it at 6 hours most of the time because, your nose, at least my nose, doesn't stay faded to it the entirety of the life of the fragrance. But for the money, there's a lot of options out there. This is just the most enjoyable to me. It's another Stag Quatre from Paris Corner. Now, when it comes to Le Beau Le Parfum, big fan. This is a really close representation of the profile. It is Glacier Bold from Maison Alhambra, and there's not really much of a quality drop-off here because Le Beau Le Parfum is very chemically synthetic as well. Oh man, that tropical fruitiness, that watery coconut meets green meets floral. It's powdery and sweet, juicy fruit pineapple at the top with some bergamot. Man, it's so good. It's so good. Now, would I prefer, like, does this curve the itch for wanting the original? Kind of, but not quite. Because when you have the original, I don't know, it's just something about it. It seems like a little bit deeper of a fragrance, but Le Beau Le Parfum is not easy to find. This will do the job, and do the job pretty well overall. It's another one that's kind of an average, slightly above average performance on my skin, kind of in that 5 to 7 hour range for me personally. I've seen people say they get 3 or 4. I've seen people say they get 8. So it's a crapshoot. You don't know until you start, spraying it on your skin. But for the money, it's really hard to beat. It's in the $20 to $30 price range when in stock online, and it is pretty much a dead ringer for Le Beau Le Parfum. Just tropical, fruity, fresh, and fun with some pretty good performance overall. Nothing crazy. It's Glacier Bold from Maison Alhambra. Now, this stuff's just not fair. I'm looking at the bottle off camera. It's just not fair. It's cloning Megamare. And you don't need much. Lattafa's Atlas. You do not need much. This fills every room. It is super salty, mossy green, watery aquatic. So the first time I sprayed, I was like, oh, this is too much. I don't like this. The first time I sprayed, I was not a fan. I was like, okay, this ain't it. Then it started to dry down. I was like, okay, it's getting way better. Then the next time I wore it, I was like, all right, yeah, okay. You got to prepare for this one, though. At least I do, because it's just so immensely strong that you got to plan it out. Because this is one that you're going to live in this stuff. It's easy to go nose blind to it as well. It's so incredibly powerful and chemically synthetic that this will work your nose. This is 1-2 jab, uppercut, drop your nose on the mat. You hear me? This stuff does not play around. It is super potent. You'll see people across the internet mention it being weak. Remember that 1-2 jab, uppercut, drop your nose on the mat I was talking about? Their nose is going through that. They either don't realize it or won't admit to it. One of the two. It's those two. It's that simple. Because this stuff is crazy. Crazy. This is one of the strongest fragrances in my collection. As far as fresh fragrances, I think it is my strongest fragrance as far as fresh stuff is concerned. It's just, like, I don't even see the necessity for this kind of power. Like, I don't need people to smell me in the next apartment building. I mean, that's exaggerated, but it's like, it's strong like that, and some of you love that. So if you're looking for over-the-top fresh fragrance with power, it's kind of a no-brainer buy for you. Lattafa Atlas, this stuff's the truth. Dialing it back to the real world with performance, this is so enjoyable. This had some serious hype earlier in the year. I was guilty of taking part in it, and when I say hype, I just mean getting a lot of love and people giving it a shot. If you're looking for a great interpretation of Greenlee, the only difference I can tell, on paper, virtually identical. On skin, cheaper cedar note, which is most of the time I'm not a fan of, but in this situation it kind of works because it doesn't like ruin the fragrance. But that's the difference. The cedar notes are of different quality, but apple, fruity, green, and woodsy. We're talking about Fragrance World's French Avenue and their Aether line. It's really good. Again, on paper, dead ringer, virtually identical. But on skin, do get a little bit of a cheaper cedar kind of action going. A little half spray. What the hell? I don't need I already sprayed something else on. See, that's really good. That is really good. I still stand by this one. This is still damn good when in stock. I don't know if it's in stock. In the link down below, I haven't looked through anything yet. I haven't linked anything. We're filming raw footage right now. If you can find this one and you're looking for what I think is a great interpretation of Greenlee, great for the money, above average performance for me, 6 to 8 hour range is what I get personally. Of course, I don't know what you'll get. Only you will know what you get, but this, I'm still Still a believer in this one. Fragrance World's Aether, French Avenue. Now here's one I haven't spoken about in, it's been a little bit. I want to say maybe 2 months. If you like mango, because I go through these mango kicks every summer. Now that summer's over, I'm not really on the mango fragrances, but it's an interpretation of mango skin, and it's pretty damn close. It's fruity. It's a little floral. It's Paris Corner's Mango Punch. Love the bottle on this one. It's got this soft, powdery accord, but it's also got this kind of zestiness to the fruitiness. I don't even remember what type of spice it is. That's so delightful. It does have this fresh floral feel. It does lean a little bit feminine, but nothing that's not doable, fellas. If you guys like iris fragrances and rose fragrances, everything that features those is more feminine than this, you know. But I do have to point that out, because for some, I've had some feedback with like, it's kind of feminine. So I get that, because there's a little bit of fresh white floral here that will give you that. I think rose might even be in here, but it's not a big dose of it. But, oh man, if you like tropical fruits, the exotic fruity fragrances, this is such a refreshing thing to smell. It really is. Love the bottle style of this as well, the way the glass has these ripples to it. Obviously that's irrelevant, but the fragrance smells really good. It's in around a 5 to 6 hour fragrance on skin for me personally, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of mango like I am. Again, that's Paris Corner's Mango Punch. Last but not least, I felt it only right to feature this fragrance since we're talking about really good fresh fragrance clones. This is one of the best I've ever smelled that I own. When I'm in the mood for Versace Mano Fresh, I wear this more than I wear Versace Mano Fresh. It's Armaf's Ora Fresh. Basically, eau de parfum Mano Fresh. It's a dead ringer. It really is. You get that carambola, that bitter star fruit, that sour star fruit, I meant to say, not bitter. Other citruses, it's watery fresh. It's got this clean, musky, kind of fresh, spicy type of profile to it. And I get every bit of 8 hours out of this. I always get around 5 or 6 out of Versace Mano Fresh, and out of this I always get around 8. A little bit of nose fatigue, but nothing where it completely wears out on my hands. It's a magnetic cap, that's why I'm sitting here playing with it. It's not a strong magnetic cap, as you see. As soon as I do that, it falls off. So not one to pick up from there. It's a strong enough magnetic cap to make that clapping sound, but don't pick it up from it. This is good stuff though. You can get this around like 28 bucks last time I looked. I'm not sure what it is currently. I'm sure it's something similar. I've done a full review on this one in the past. This is just some really good stuff from Armaf, basically. Not everything they touch is gold, and I'm not saying this is gold, but let's call it silver, shall we? It's a good fragrance. It's a damn good fragrance if you're looking for basically eau de parfum, Versace Mano Fresh. Here you go, with Armaf Ora Fresh. Well, that's the 8 that I wanted to discuss today with you guys. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Of the 8 that I featured here, what are you familiar with? What have you tried? Did they work for you? Are you huge fans of these, or some of these, you tried them and they're maybe not for you, and you feel like maybe they were a waste of money? I mean, that's with stuff like this, you're going to be blind buying. You're rolling the dice when you go the route of these affordable clones, 9 times out of 10. So there's going to be potential for disappointment. So be very careful and try to be as responsibly educated as you can be without being able to sample. If you're going to blind buy some of these fragrances, I'll have links down below if you're interested in checking any of them out. Again, I don't know the current availability. But yeah, blind buy at your own risk. I don't encourage it, but I understand it because I do it too. I get it. So yeah, good stuff. If you're looking for some really good fresh clones, these are 8 that I think are really good. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one.